for some peace of mind, but TikTok said a gator drove a jeep through the blinds. Florida man's at it again with fireworks and a goat, and someone married a ghost in a Dollar Tree coat. Hey, what in the Walmart rapture is going on? Aliens dancing in a Waffle House song. Karen's got a taser in the checkout line, and Dr. Oz just adopted birds to fight off crime. Oh, I'm just sitting here scrolling, my jaw on the floor. The internet's a circus and I can't take no more. Yeah, when it's wildin', there's a raccoon in the sink. Someone robbed a Wendy's just to steal a frosty drink. A pastor's gone viral yelling about the end is near, while folks ride hoverboards in wedding gear. Yeah, what in the Walmart rapture is this mess? Florida's a movie, but it's filmed in VHS. Someone fed meth to a squirrel named Dave, and now he's in a cage just throwing rave. I'm just...
Good morning, everyone. So I accidentally put the mole on the wrong side, and we do need to complete the look. So just for the defense, to make her feel like I was paying attention, we've got the hair in the collar, because what is this defense? Y'all, I am doing this because I cannot go into this defense today as a sane, rational person. I must go in as the defense attorney. Otherwise, I will call the defense and the witness everything but their given Christian name. I know this about myself. I know this. So if I just go into full Kim K mode, it is because I really want to say all the curse words. But I'm trying to keep this a little bit, family-ish, friendly-ish. Good morning. Yeah, I can't believe. Also, I didn't know how tan I could get before it would cause HR problems or I became the next Prime Minister of Canada. So now, since I may have, a bit of Runkle genes in me, I would be okay with Canadian, but again, I would, if I'm going to be, the prime minister, I'd rather not share anything in common with Justin Trudeau. No offense. Now, that being said, we've got a lot of headlines, and I am going to be very honest with you guys about the Savannah Guthrie thing. A lot of the things in the Savannah Guthrie case don't make sense to me, but I'm the type of person that I like to wait for evidence. So unless or until there is a big break, I'm not covering anything else. Now, there are plenty of content creators who are, searching and finding things, but I'm going to wait until things that could possibly be admissible in court. Now, I do hope that it turns out for the best, but I think after 10 days, reality is that's very unlikely. So with that in mind, and with the potentiality of this becoming a criminal case, I do just want to wait for what could be a potential trial. That being said, we still have insane news. Our first story is just so incredibly heartbreaking. And I want to remind you, man, woman, Zimzer, furry, scaly, whatever you are, if your relationship is full of fear and walking on eggshells, that's not a relationship. That's not, love. That's not safety. It doesn't matter if it's coming from a woman or a man. Sarah Boone is just as gross as, any abusive man. If that is your relationship, well, considering I might could, we just see the world different. It's not our fault that people can't think on our level. What if being on the Spielberg spectrum is actually, a forward movement in human evolution? I love how I'm like, I think differently, therefore it's a superpower. back to seriousness. Look, I'm going to tell you when you're in a relationship like this, the other person does their best to make you feel small, but you're not as small as they make you feel. And I'm not going to lie to you. That first step away, that planning, that moving away from that person is terrifying AF. And that voice is going to live inside your head for a while even if you leave. But you know what happens? You take that step and it's terrifying. You take another step and it's still scary. But then you just start walking. And yeah, you might have days where that little voice creeps in once in a while, but you can tell it to, you know? So, yeah, I'm not going to say that it's not scary. I'm not going to say that it's easy or anything to leave a controlling or coercive relationship. However, consider it. There are resources, and men can be victims too. So, if a male friend comes to you and says there's something not right about his girlfriend, treat him just like you would a female coming to you with the same sort of things. As a mom of both boys and girls now, I worry that my boys won't be believed. That with Johnny Depp, they won't believe you, who's going to believe you over me? And it is a worry. But this is a terribly sad and unfortunate headline, and I wish we could find a way to stop these relationships and these kind of things. But the 22-year-old daughter of a Republican Minnesota gubernatorial candidate, Jeff Johnson, was a part of a red rum self-deletion attempt. Now, the daughter of the Republican gubernatorial candidate for Minnesota, Jeff Johnson, was stabbed to death in a botched red rum self-deletion over the weekend, leading her father to abruptly suspend his 2026 campaign. Now, Haley Marie Tobler, 22, was discovered deceased with multiple stab wounds inside her locked apartment in St. Cloud after cops responded to a medical emergency on Saturday evening, according to the St. Cloud Police Department. Now, Tobler's husband, 23-year-old Dylan Michael Tobler, was also critically wounded inside the house with what investigators believe to be self-inflicted wounds. Now, he is in stable condition right now and has been taken into police custody and is expected to be hit with homicide charges in connection with Haley's death following his release from the hospital. So with that being the case, I don't imagine that we're going to get a whole bunch more updates about, the scene, anything else, because every single bit of the investigation is now going to go into a potential trial. But this will be a case that I think I will want to cover because it's just, again, the fear that your child isn't going to find the right match isn't only for your girls, it's for your boys too. Monsters don't have a gender. So he is in stable condition, at least right now. Now, Johnson was a former St. Cloud City Councilman who had launched his bid for the Republican nomination for Minnesota governor in March 2025. He has decided to suspend his campaign following this tragic loss, which is understandable and human. So again, if you guys are dealing with any of this stuff or you know someone that possibly is, just be there for them, encourage them that there is life. You can step away. Don't sugarcoat it though. Don't be like Lifetime movie, like you'll be free and fly away and Sonny came home. No, it's terrifying. Respect that it's terrifying. It might not make sense to you. It might not seem rational that at any time you can pick up the keys, you can leave. It's very hard to explain to someone how your brain can become your own prison. And it's very shameful because a lot of us like to think that we're a lot stronger, a lot smarter, a lot more clever than we really are sometimes. Now, in news, and I did want to wait a little bit before this, but Catherine O'Hara's cause of death has been revealed. Now, apparently, she did have a clot in her lungs. However, she was dealing with significant cancer underlying that. So, because she was dealing with cancer, maybe again, a blood clot is not out of the realm of possibility. Now this is from TMZ, and I trust them about as much as I do the Leering Center, so take it with a grain of salt. I always thought she was one of the funniest women in entertainment. I always, was, well, I was always confused as a child how you could miss your one of your kids like Kevin, and then I proceeded to give birth to 6 children of the corn and blonde children, and if you have ever been that mom in Walmart where you're like, "Blonde, blonde, blonde, blonde," I have semi almost possibly abducted some children at like, checkout lines because all of my blondes will be here, and then there'll be, like, 2 or 3 other blondes that and by the time you get to 6, you're just like, "1 more in the line, you're not." I'm like, "Okay." So, finally, I've got, like I look back and I've, like, got 2 other kids following me, and, these children just follow my kids. They're like, "Oh, we must go." And I was like, "No, you 2 sweeties." So I stop, I tell Mr. Mo to stay by the cart with my children, and I'm like, "Where are your parents? Let's go." My husband said, "One day we are gonna end up with an extra kid just in our van. We are gonna do a Kevin to some other family." I mean, at this point, I mean, I adopt everyone. Eh, e honest to goodness, that's gonna be the hardest thing, although I don't cook as much as I used to because of, standing sometimes, but I was always like, "Mr. Mo, how are we gonna cook for just 2 people?" I was like, "I don't know if I'm built for making meatloaf without a bunch of extra cornflakes in it to stretch the meat." I was like, "What if we just had meatloaf with, like, the recommended amount of breadcrumbs?" I was like, "What would that world be like?" Sure, sure I can. Actually, so I've been kind of playing I am squirrely today. Y'all are just gonna have to forgive me. I I am completely and totally not looking forward to this defense today. I am, like, at my limit of stupidity, and it's more offensive to me after last Wednesday, and I don't know why it's just hitting me on such a raw nerve. So I'm kind of squirrely with that, and then, trying to get used to, Cletus the leg joining Hagatha the leg, in this also, can we talk about chronic pain first for a second, y'all? For cereals, how is it my body can both be pissed off when we have a warming front come in and double pissed off when we have a cooling front? Because I am confused. Because for the love of goodness, could I win on one of the up cycles? I would just like to know. I Because this week my husband's like, "Ooh, it is nice and warm outside. I'm gonna get some stuff done. The snow is melting." And I'm like, "Yep, Imma be here. Imma be here." So, we could. So, I've actually been playing around with okay, so not in a Jesus way, not in an Oprah, not in a I'm trying to explain this in a way that doesn't make it sound like I think I'm a guru because I don't, but it's been on my mind to kind of write, uh, not my experience, but kind of things I've learned from my life, and start a channel where I think I just do an avatar or something. Again, with my craft channel that's still not started. Believe me, I know. But basically call from alien to astronaut with the main thesis point of all the letters to like the audience or just something that I can talk and read and you can have it on in the background. But basically, my kind of journey from when I was 13 in my closet, desperately hoping that I was like ET and my alien family was totally, totally sad and desperately trying to get back to me. And it wasn't, so much my fault that I just couldn't, you know, get and understand people. It was simply that I was a different species. Now, I know that sounds like weird and insane thinking, but it was incredibly helpful for a 13-year-old girl who grew double D's and a headgear in 1 year and suddenly realized that the level to which I analyze things and look at the world is very, very different than the way other people move through the world. So it kind of goes from my journey from thinking I was the only one to realizing we're all astronauts, coming from our own perspectives, our own words, our own language, our own prisms of understanding things. So of course we all feel like aliens. So it's just longer kind of essays about that. If anyone would be interested, I don't know. It's been something I've been kicking around, but basically it would be, yeah, from alien to astronaut, because in the last year, it was so funny. Well, not funny, haha, funny, ironic, but not in the irritating Alanis Morissette misinterpretation of the definition, which I will stop being pedantic about that, but it still bothers me because words have meanings and we use them with the meanings they give. I understand the hypocrisy that I am spouting now because holy crap, I make up all the words I want. That being said, since I made them up and then I give you a definition, it works. I appease myself. Where was I? Train of thought. I love that I get on these train of thoughts and then they go whoosh, out. That being said, let's attempt to get back on. But that would be basically that because in the last couple years, and maybe more so than in the last couple years than ever before, the hard times that I've walked through have given me the wisdom to say the words that I needed to hear at those times in my life, if that makes any sense. So I'm going to change this story up just a bit but my oldest son has a really close friend and they text all the time. And since I can't figure out my damn phone, I'm CC'd on all of my kids' text messages. And can we talk about my middle daughter, Love and Drama? I love that girl to death. I love her. But holy cow, her text messages exhaust me. Like feelings. Any hoozle. That's how she communicates. That's how she operates. And I love that for her. It just looks like algebra written in Mandarin with some ancient Egyptian calculus. It's just too much to try to figure out. But I was looking at my son's text, just kind of flipping through, and there was a really concerning text from one of his friends, and I immediately got up because it was later at night, and I knew that my 13-year-old little son had no idea. He was going to probably be anxious. He wants to help his friend. He has no idea how to deal with some really heavy things that she was confiding in him. So I went and talked to him and I said, hey, I don't want to butt in, but I am going to message this person. And if they don't want to talk to me, for me to even look, y'all, I am the most not my circus, not my monkeys, not my problem type person. So if it is serious enough for me to uh, overwhelm my social anxiety, my I don't want to get involved. So I texted um, his friend and I said, "Hey, I know you don't know who I am. I am so and so's mom, but if I could tell you a couple things and, if you'll listen for just a couple seconds." I said, "I know it seems like everyone doesn't get you right now, and everything is wrong and your body's crazy and no one understands what you're going through. And I want to tell you that I was that person 13 years ago, or well, when I was 13, I sat in a closet and I wondered if the world would miss me if I was gone. I did. And I said, you know what? I would tell that 13-year-old girl if I could go back. Yeah, middle school sucks balls. It just does. But it is going to sharpen you too. It is going to let you realize that there are different people. So you don't fit in with one crowd. You're going to find your tribe. And that's the thing. If you stop now, you'll never know what you could do. I would have never guessed as that 13-year-old girl that I was going to have kids. I was going to create a legacy. Do you understand how awesome that is? And I know as a 13-year-old she couldn't understand that. So I just said, you are going to experience so much more in this life than this. And it sucks. But if you need someone to talk to, I'm here. If you can't talk to your parents, I do think you should. I think that these are some big, big feelings you're having. And I worry that there are a lot to deal with alone. But if you need to reach out, you can. And she has once or twice. And it's just maybe some other people need to hear it. Not, again, not in like a ego, like I am Oprah and these are the things that just, if there is a little 13-year-old kid in a closet wondering if they're the only one who desperately hopes that they are in fact a catillion instead of a human, because humaning is so fucking hard. And you don't seem to get it. I want them to know that you will find your tribe and you will get to an age where you realize that you don't have to get it. Your tribe will get you. And you can build your own tribe, your own family, your own system of values. But unfortunately, with building all those things, it means you have to get kicked in the left tit sometimes, which sucks balls. Because, wisdom should come like with a fortune cookie and not a tit kick. But there you go. We work with what we work with. I didn't tell her I was a streamer. Look, for all of my kids' friends, I don't try to bring it up because, look, I desperately do not want to become that mom from Mean Girls that's wearing like the juicy couture pants and like, oh my God. Because I'm not saying that it is rampant in my area, but there are some, let's just say, well-seasoned women who are walking around in Victoria's Secret, and the only secret that Victoria has with them is that they're perimenopausal, okay? And I'm like, ma'ams, we all know, so am I. If we want Victoria's Secrets to age up with us Genlennials, I'm gonna need some shapewear, Victoria's Secret. And I'm gonna need you to be real about boobs. Let's be real. So I just figured, because I didn't realize for a long time that I analyzed more deeply and kind of put together things in a way that no one else does. And that's okay. here I thought that maybe I was just the malfunctioning cog in the machine, but then I realized everyone feels like that all the time, and that's the thing I always told my kids, because they would be complaining like, "Well, so and so is so popular, and, so and so, it looks so put together," and I said, "You wanna know a secret?" And they're like, "What?" And I was like, "So and so popular kid goes home and worries every day that they're not gonna be popular 1 second. They are probably just as scared of you of doing something wrong and cringy. In fact, more so because they have something to lose. You think that their life is perfect, they just have an completely different stressors. So, you know, for all you people who overanalyze, who overperceive, who are hyper aware, and in the true sense of the word, empathic, not insufferable, when I am president, unless you have taken the Myers Briggs and the Minnesota multiphasic and you have actually clinically shown that you have the various rare traits that make you hyper focused and able to analyze conversations and things like that, then you are not allowed to use the word empathic. It doesn't mean like I understand vibes. No shit, Sherlock. We're a social species. If on a fundamental level, even the mental midgets aren't able to, understand basic language, then, the human race would have died. Yes, Sally, you're a Sagittarius and an empath. No shit. Again, we are a social species. So are donkeys at that rate. I don't know why that bothers me so flippin' no, I know why it does, because as a truly empathic person, it's it's not a fun thing. It's not a fun thing to go into a room and be able to instantly tell that there's tension between Bill and Sally that they're not talking about, and then your brain is, of course, wondering what the hell is going on. So you start watching their body language, and you're like, "Ooh, this shit is on." It's like, "Bill, don't go home with her." And then you realize, oh, well, someone else is faking being happy. What's going on there? It is exhausting. It is exhausting to be able to pick these things up. To it's not a fun thing all the time. It really isn't. So, it, and it doesn't mean you're special. Oh my! Again, I don't know why that's my bugbear, but, but lately, it is just again not at all. Where was it? Well, in uplifting news for humanity, at least, and a good story, two strangers fell in love and got married after meeting in a Facebook group for dull people. I love it. We're both boring. Yes, I am. I am terribly boring. I like grayish and married. Their romance wasn't so much passionate as consensual. I'm sorry, this is so mean. Oh, yeah, and check out MLS. He is coming back. He is the Brett Favre of retiring, and he is unretiring because no one can fill his place. He's coming back for, I think, a weekly, uh, channel, so definitely check him out. Well, I mean, they don't look too boring to me. She's a redhead, which means at least she likes to pick fun colors on her hair. I don't know. Uh, he does look like he likes to play with model train engines to me, which could be fun. I don't know. Never judge a Facebook group by its cover. Luke Malatrat, a commercial designer from the United Kingdom, and Lily Morris, a kitchen designer and mom of two from Tennessee, joined a Facebook group for self-described dull people looking to chat. Instead, they found love, according to the Telegraph. Now, the duo crossed paths in a forum called Dull Men's Club. Despite the name, like the He-Man Woman Hater Club in Little Rascals, it does allow women. I'll allow it. You do have the rack for it. Approved. Uh, and neither were looking to strike up a romance, they said in an interview with the outlet that was published on Tuesday, February the 3rd. Quote, I actually decided to use, unless God dropped a man on my head with a parachute, I wouldn't be dating again, said Morris, who had been single for 8 years after getting divorced. If anyone would have told me this would happen, I would have said they were insane. Now, similarly, Malatrat, oh God, I hope she's taking, well, I hope he's taking her name. That's just I mean, can you imagine trying to explain to every customer service person how to say that? But apparently, it happened very organically. Morris began noticing comments left by Malarat, and he'd been single for about a year after or prior to their meeting, and became worried when his messages stopped in March 2024. After realizing he hadn't been in the group for several weeks, the mom of two DM'd him. Ooh, she slid into his DMs. Direct message, age, sex, language, ASL. And while it was not love at first sight, look, as I was thinking about it, I realized I was 40, and if we both squint, we would be attracted to each other. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it is weird. It is more cringeworthy than moist to me. I can deal with moist. To be I feel like Steve Buscemi every time I try to not be Brett Foreman in my thinking, like, I don't care. I'm glad that I'm missing the trends. So, I love it. So they did get married. I mean, they overcame their initial disgust with each other. I love that that's how I read that article, not that, hey, they weren't looking for romance. It was just like, 40. My standards, it is what it is. Look, I will say in all honesty, what you're attracted to changes so much in your life. When I was 20, it was so incredibly superficial, and God bless my stupid little heart. You know what I want? If God won't grant me the boobs I had when I was 20, with the gravity and placement thereof, I would like to have the confidence in all of my life decisions that I had when I was 20. Because remember how absolutely art-tarded you were when you were 20, but you made decisions like you were the smartest living person that had ever lived. No, you didn't want to, no, wisdom, parents' advice, logic. I know things. I have unlocked the secret, because I would like to tell you that every year since the age of 20, I have become more and more, convinced that my judgment is shit. So I would like to, again, I have given up on getting the boobs back, but I would like the confidence in every damn dumb decision I made, and not the, overwhelming anxiety and self-doubt that I have when I want to buy a mother effing t-shirt for myself. That being said, I do have enough t-shirts to like clothe a small village. So do I need another t-shirt? No. But 20-year-old me wouldn't have even thought about that closet full of t-shirts. We'd have just been like, curse word, something funny placement of boob, like curse word right along the boob, and sold. So again, God, I've given up on the boobs coming back, but I would like the self-confidence, the blissfully ignorant self-confidence of a person, a young 20-year-old who thinks she's figured life out. And that all the people above her are just dumb. They just didn't figure out as good as I did. Again, I had a blissful year of that. I was so dumb. Oh God, was I dumb? That's why again, I was I was an atheist for a long time, but then I looked back on my 20s and I'm like, Lord God and all of his angels are probably taking a vacation with all the shit they kept me out of. Let's see here. What else do we have? Well, Bob Iger, this has to be a joke. After all the things that have come out about the guy who didn't snuff himself out allegedly in Minecraft and had a little island, and y'all, I haven't even attempted to look into the files. I don't have the time to absorb the horror. I just, not right now, maybe in a little bit, but Bob Iger, could you be any more tone deaf? Like, what in the name of giblets? Apparently, Bob Iger, well, continuing his streak of catastrophic inability to read the country, has decided to write a book with the help of Hillary Clinton's speechwriters, who you think would be busy trying to destroy things and bleach bit stuff. So I don't know how quickly that book is going to go. But again, in inability to read a room, this is going to go so well. I can't read it. I'm not sad. Bob, I I can't help you, sir. Not that I want you to. Not that I want to help you, but good luck with that. What's it gonna say? I'm the CEO that let Kathleen Kennedy ruin Willow, Star Wars, and Indiana Jones. I mean, you know what? It would be more funny. Okay, Bob Iger wouldn't do this, but you know what would be a hilarious troll? If he did a like OJ Simpson parody style book, like If I Did It, instead he just did it, I did it, the death of Disney. Look, Bob Iger, I have not willingly bought anything from your company since you tried to make a Palpatine a Skywalker, but I would buy the shit out of that book because it would be hilarious. If you just went full Dr. Evil and totally owned everything, I I would buy the shit out of that. I would do dramatic readings. You would actually become like a anti-hero. If you had made this entire thing and then it was the twist at the end was, yeah, I did all of this to show them they were wrong. Like, what's that movie, Asmodeus, Watchmen, where he's like, I had to destroy the world to save it. I realize I didn't darken both eyebrows to the same level. I like that that's bothering me more than it should. Because I realized I don't have black eyebrow stuff because I rarely ever wear a truly black wig. So, yeah, it is bothering me now. As I said, might be on the Spielberg spectrum just a scotch. But I think everyone is. Everyone has a really interesting way of processing things. So I don't see that at all. Yeah. What print do I have on my shirt? Okay, so I don't know. So I said this in mornings with or musings with. Okay, I can't get any. It is a Cthulhu. So, in many years yonder past, when youngest most feral was getting ready to go into school, my whole idea was I was going to be a substitute teacher because that way I could work, but still, in theory, be off to get all my kids off the school bus. Because that was always a big barrier to me working. Was we sat down, we ran the numbers, and I would have to make approximately $30 an hour in order to even make minimum wage after childcare expenses. And, not because, and this was just at home daycare centers, not even like fancy, child daycares. So it had been kind of a barrier to me going back to work, but I decided I was going to, try substituting. Well, then the school district, then I got hurt. Then the school district pissed me off. And so I would never wear or work for them ever. Then I ate my anger for 2 years and couldn't fit into any of the dresses. And now I can wear them again. So I have, like, Cthulhu dresses, I have, um, all sorts of science stuff. So, yeah, I have a bunch of Miss Frizzle. I was gonna be Miss Frizzle in real life, except I was gonna teach your kids to critically think. And, no, it's, oh gosh, let me pull up the website because it's actually a clothing line, for teachers with, like, educators in the STEM fields and stuff. It's actually got some really cute, they're very comfy. I mean, it does kind of, I'm not gonna lie, it looks like LuLaRoe, but at least it's about us, so it doesn't hurt my soul as much. Now, I always go directly to this section. I am not gonna lie. I go to sale. But they are interesting prints, like this is a turkey mushroom, and it does have pockets. Uh, ooh, dragons in space? Not gonna lie. Oh, no, this is not on sale. You lying butt monkeys. Eligible, use code for percentage off. You lying butt turds. Anywho, I when I shop here, I usually go to the clearance section, but they do have different styles in kids. Now, a lot my, cardigan with, like, the typewriter print, I got from this. Oh, okay, let me make sure I'm on the right mic. Okay. They were supposed to Xfinity was supposed to fix my internet. Gonna I So, yeah, they have a lot of different stuff. I'm not gonna lie, not all of the prints are flattering. Some do definitely scream. I have 37 cats, and I'm joining a protest, on the weekend. So, as I said, ooh, a glow in the dark dress? Stop it. You don't need actual Yeah, but that's where I get them from. So there you go. But and they're comfy. I was going to wear a different dress. I had to redo Musings with Mo because Thor the cat decided that he kept wanting to jump up and down, and I realized that the dress that I had picked out to be Kim Kardashian defense attorney at law, allegedly, uh, was covered in cat fur, and I was just like, "Damn it, Thor." Every time, and he kept booping the microphone and turning it off because I wasn't petting him. So, I have told Mr. Mo, I was like, "We need to spray the cat stand with catnip so they stop trying to molest electronic stuff." I'm gonna get a cease and desist from my electronics. It's going to happen. So, my UK friends, I have never had the clip to explain how I feel when I just casually, and I don't know if other people, feel very anxious when they get caught in this situation, so it might simply be a me thing. But, imagine you're an inside cat. I'll set the scene for you. You're an inside cat, but you ventured out into the world because you're pretty sure you're turning into Howard Hughes. And while you're okay with the no touchy touchy, you stop at bottling your own urine. So you're like, I must go outside to be where the people are because I cannot become at least as crazy as Howard Hughes. At least this is my logic thought process to get me out of the house. I have to pretend like I have been ordered by my parole officer to leave. I would have a weird reverse parole officer. And I go to Walmart. No, Jim, it's not my mic. It's because the internet is having some issues in my area. So it blinks on and off, and then the mic has to catch up to being reset. And sometimes it flickers so fast I don't even catch it. So supposedly they worked on it, but this is actually a new mic, so there's nothing wrong with the mic, there's nothing wrong with my setup, it's the internet blinking in and out. Now it wasn't doing it as much as, it was prior, and sorry, I meant to say the name of the site, Savia USA. Yeah, so, I just you're going in and my goal, since I am not a very like, I can people when I have a wig on, I can people when I'm playing a character, but other than that, human interaction kinda confuses me, just because it's so much to intake, and other people don't seem to get confused by, "Oh, your eyes are really yellow. Do you think you might have jaundice?" Or, "Huh, you're looking a little weird. Are you lying, telling me the truth?" And your tone kind of went up. So they're just not sort of like peopling on the same level. And it took me a long time to understand this. So I have gotten good at the like drive-by compliment. So I'm like peopling, but I control that I can leave the situation at any time. So and you do this, you're in Walmart, you're in the aisle, you for some reason, it's always when I'm next to the peanut butter, I don't know why, I really don't. To the point that I've just now started to get Uncrustables for my ass. This is a consistent peanut butter adjacent phenomenon for me. And it's usually an older gentleman, usually has his service cap on, and I'm just like, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" And And I'm like, "Oh, thank you for your service, sir." And, you're trying to slowly leave and he is following you and he's still talking at you. And you're like, "Oh," and it's usually political. It usually doesn't like start with a, "Hey, how you doing?" It's like, "These tariffs." And I'm like, "Look, we're in a place where you can carry I'm like 97% sure of your political affiliation, but I have been wrong once or twice." And I'm like, "Mhm. Yep." And you think that you can leave then, but no, because then if that doesn't get the response, he's like, "Oh, so you're married." And I'm like, "Where is my husband? Why did I insist on going alone?" It's like, "Yep, yep, no, yeah, yeah." And, you're like still, and I'm like, "Oh, yeah, speaking of being married, I've got, a bunch of children, gotta go." And he's still like, "Oh, how many children you've got?" And at this point, my brain is like, "Is this a hostage situation? Who do I call? And is there like a Ghostbusters for introverts that are stuck in a conversation, but they don't want to be a dick, but they're pretty sure that they could argue to another jury of introverts that deadly force was necessary?" Like, why did you tase him? He kept trying to talk to me. A jury of introverts would know what I was talking about. Be done. So I've never actually run across this show, but now I'm going to have to watch all of this, but this is my internal monologue. I've never seen it so clearly, displayed in any sort of form, but this is me when someone gets me in one of those hostage situation conversations that I wasn't aware I was not allowed to leave.
This is no day for a do.
What's happening?
For when the bride arrived, and as I say, by this stage the wind was fierce.
Am I dead?
I've never heard wind like it.
Is this my week?
Howling like a banshee it was.
Am I in hell?
We wanted to rent a video.
I don't know what this show is. I'm going to find it out because this nun might be my spirit animal. Oh, okay. Thank you so much, MQS. I will definitely look that up because, oh my Bob Ross, I was like, did this nun reach into I was like, "Killing me softly with her thoughts." I was like, "Oh, I feel like a Fuji song." Yes, I know it was Roberta Flack's first, but I'm probably one of 10% of Genlennials who know that. So give me that little bit of grace. Now, this is something I can see my youngest, most feral doing, and I'm actually now waiting. You guys, headlines are sometimes just, look, I'm going to already admit that I'm having a squirrely ADHD day. So the fact that we even got through like 3 headlines is a fantastical miracle. But I needed to share this with you guys because I foresee this happening at one of my kids' weddings.
When I was around 8, Dave and Mark were at the house over in Mendenhall, and they were playing paintball one day. And I love playing paintball myself. So when DeMarc came over and wanted to play, I asked if I could join. And they shut me out. Like any older brother with any little brother. But like any other little brother, I ran upstairs, I got my stuff anyway, and I was going to follow them whether they liked it or not. When I got my stuff and came downstairs, they were gone.
Oh, no.
I picked up a couple of Mark's paintballs.
Oh my God. This is exactly what my feral would do. He wouldn't get mad, he would get even. Oh God.
And I threw them against the house next door. Now, yes. So Dave assured the neighbors and our parents that it couldn't have been him, or it couldn't have been Mark, because their paintball color was not that color.
No! I got so much trouble for that!
The neighbors, or our parents, believed him and made him clean it up. And I knew I was going to have to tell them eventually. But boy, was I really wanting to watch TV that day. So I bring this up 20 years later as a wedding gift to him. For closure, that is him the one that threw those paintballs.
Dude!
So thank you for letting me watch TV.
Y'all,
anyways,
that is, I foresee that happening at one of my kids' weddings. I see it. And before we go, the defense in the Canero case tried to denigrate Officer Creed, but we might not all agree about the police, but we agree that canine officers are awesome. And let's be real, cats would be playing for criminals. Oh, you guys, so I had a random train of thought. And you know how I told you guys that I think Elon Musk, as much as Neuralink could be used to like solve diseases and stuff, what he really needs to do is the Neuralink for dogs so they all sound like Doug from Up. But then I realized that cat people would get really upset. But see, cat people will need to have thick skin because cats are going to tell you about yourself and like, I'd eat you if you weren't breathing. Or, you know, they catch you during married time moments. Ew, both of them are trying to make kittens again. I don't know, maybe he's using his tail wrong. I don't know. Ew, they don't have any hair. It's just wrong. You know, I could see cats, again, you just have to have really thick skin if you wanted the, you know, Neuralink cat internal monologue. They'd be hilarious as shit, but they would cut your soul in half.
Can a police dog be lazy or forget that it's on duty? It might sound strange, but it really happens.
Oh my God, no. I thought this was going to be funny dogs. This is just irritating AI voice. YouTube, I implore you, for the love of all that is holy and unholy, goodness and hoodness, please, please, please take all this AI crap off. It annoys people. It annoys people. Look, I'm not just saying this because I have a really good voice and I want everyone to pay for my vocal proclivities, you know, and my Sailor Moon addiction. I mean, if possible, I would be okay with both. I'm just saying that this AI stuff, how can AI be so freaking annoying? It's supposed to be getting us to, you know, take it and make Skynet and take us over. All right, here you go. Possibly the funniest clip. I don't know if this was an educational video or a doctor video, but who greenlit this? I have all the questions.
Yeah, could you hold all my calls, please? It's time for lunch.
You who up there, Mr. Brain? Guess who? It's Bowl down here.
way at the bottom of the food chain, doing what I do.
What in the Miss Frizzle on Quaaludes and without consent is this bullshit? Someone saw Bill Nye. I don't know. I don't know if she's supposed to be a middle-aged bowel worker. This is why education stopped. This is why the collective IQ is down a standard deviation.
Best disposing of refuse.
Stand by on that, Bow. We're pretty busy up here.
You don't get.
Wait a minute. Wait. Where's the brain? Okay, we're good. When we go back to the brain part, because the monitors have pictures taped on top of them. It's not even monitors. Like, they didn't even take the time to maybe just have them all flashing numbers. No, they just colored and taped up a piece of paper over them.
Get the big picture, Mr. Brain. You should know what bean burritos do down here. I need some attention, and I need it now, or we're all.
The brain's like, oh God, I forgot it was Chipotle. Everyone to your stations. Man your battleships. It's going down for real. Oh my God.
I'm going to be embarrassed if you catch my drift.
10-4.
Oh no, the bowel is threatening a shart. Also, they taped up the... I can't. And you know it's... you know it is from a time where they're like, he probably came in and wanted to audition to be the bowel worker or the office worker, and they're like, I'm sorry, no sir, you're Asian, you're going to have to be the brain. The taped pictures. I can't.
That last message, Bow. Brown alert. Brown alert. Let's go.
Yeah, you never want those brown alerts. It's the sharts that'll get you. Just when you get confident.
Put it into manual override. All systems. We're initiating emergency procedures. This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill.
JKD Bug. I would watch that movie. And given the past administration. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Let's see. I kind of don't even want to watch the ending, but it's like a train wreck, and my inability to not finish something is going to kill me if we don't finish the clip, but I don't know that I'll survive laughing any harder. I'm going to have laugh abs.
All systems, we have touchdown.
We have countdown. Well, you guys, be sure to check out MLS. He is coming back with a weekly stream. I remember I read it, and now all of the details have escaped me. And then for those of you hanging out on my channel today, we have the Paul Canero case. Now, they started early today, but we are going to give them a bit of a chance to get ahead of us, because I don't know that I can be kind to the daughter, so we might want to skip it until I'm not flaring up. But I will be interested to see the arguments and what the state brings, because I do think that there are different procedural levels of what the defense has to tell the state versus what the state has to tell the defense. I do know there is a difference. I'm not sure how that is delineated in New Jersey, so it will be interesting to see. Now, since this motion was filed by the state, I do think that it's going to be competent on legal grounds. I don't think the defense understands that by fighting to get the the poor Canero family, they weren't allowed to leave and they were abused by the cops, is not going to, I think, land as well as they think it's going to. And the state is actually doing them a favor by saying, hey, maybe this isn't a topic you want to go into, because I'm guessing the state already anticipated this and does have a strategy, because the defense, wasn't subtle at all about this being a particular topic of interest for Paul to address in their case. So it will be interesting. So I'll see you guys at 10:30. And, share the House of Mo, the Church of Mo, whatever we want to call it, the tribe of Mo, out with people. Maybe someone needs a laugh or will get our humor. We're not everyone's cup of tea, but we're definitely a tribe. So if you know someone that maybe would have a fun time hanging out with us as well, be sure to share out clips or videos with them. This is about as close as I ask you, or as I come to asking you to like or subscribe, because that just feels weird. But I'm going to see you in a little bit, you guys. Brace yourselves. It's still the defense's case in chief. And good Lord, it's still the defense's case in chief. Pray for us all now and at the time of our interface. Bye, you guys.